Chapter 5. I play pinochle with a horse. I remember drifting in a warm, hazy darkness. There was a voice, a girl's voice, that cut through the fog now and then. She'd say things like, "What will happen at the solstice?" And a more familiar voice, Mr. Brunner's, would murmur a reply. Sometimes I was aware of a spoon at my lips, feeding me something that tasted like heaven. Not just any heaven, my heaven. It tasted exactly like my mom's homemade blue chocolate chip cookies, still warm from the oven. It seemed to melt on my tongue and send warmth through my whole body. Once my eyes fluttered open. I saw the girl, her hair like spun gold, looking down at me. Next to her was my Latin teacher, Mr. Brunner. They were watching me. Then the darkness pulled me back under. When I finally woke up for good, the first thing I noticed was the light. It was soft, filtering through a window that overlooked a beautiful green valley. I was in a comfortable bed in a large wood-paneled room. On the wall opposite me was the head of a leopard, its glass eyes staring right at me. I wasn't alone. My friend Grover was sitting in a chair watching me sleep. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. "You saved my life, Percy," he said, his voice thick with emotion. I'm so sorry about your mom. I'm the worst keeper in the world. I froze. If I had just... My own grief hit me then, a cold, heavy weight in my chest. My mom was gone. The memory of her dissolving into golden light was so vivid, so impossible. I held up the thing I was still clutching in my hand, the heavy, jagged bull's horn. "It wasn't your fault, Grover," I said, my voice hoarse. I told him what happened, how she had saved us. He just shook his head, looking miserable. Just then, the blonde girl from my dream state walked in. She was about my age, with an athletic build and a deep tan. But it was her eyes that got me. They were a startling, stormy gray, like the sky right before a thunderstorm. They were beautiful, but also intense and analytical, like she was calculating 1,000 things about me all at once. "You drool when you sleep," she said. So much for a warm welcome. She was holding a glass of the same pudding-like stuff I'd been fed while I was out. She explained that it was ambrosia, the food of the gods, and it could heal half-bloods, but too much could burn you to a crisp. Great. Another thing that could kill me. She introduced herself as Annabeth. As she fed me, she peppered me with questions. What happened to the Minotaur? What happened on the bus? She was intensely curious, and I got the feeling she wasn't just making small talk. She was trying to figure me out. When I was strong enough to stand, she led me outside onto the porch of the big house, as she called it, and I saw it. The camp. It was a valley nestled between rolling hills, with a forest on one side and the sparkling blue of the Long Island Sound on the other. There was a lake, a bunch of Greek-style buildings with marble columns, a volleyball court, and fields of strawberries that smelled impossibly sweet. Kids, dozens of them, were running around, practicing archery, sword fighting, even riding freaking Pegasi by the lake. It was the most incredible place I had ever seen. On the porch, a game of pinochle was underway. Two men were playing against Mr. Brunner. One of them was a large, pudgy man in a loud, tiger-striped Hawaiian shirt. He had a sour face and was sipping a Diet Coke. The other man, I didn't know who he was, but Mr. Brunner seemed to know him. Annabeth introduced me. The pudgy man barely looked up from his cards. "Oh, great," he grumbled. "Another one." He called me Peter Johnson, then Perry Johansson. He couldn't seem to get my name right. "This is Mr. D," Annabeth whispered to me. "He's the camp director." Mr. Brunner, or who I thought was Mr. Brunner, looked at me with a kind smile. "Percy," he said, "I'm glad to see you're well." Mr. D slammed his cards down. "I suppose I have to say hello to the brats? So hello." He sighed, a deeply put-upon sound. "Now, Chiron, if you're done with your little reunion, are you going to tell him or not?" My head was spinning. "Wait, Chiron? Like the Chiron from the myths?" Mr. D rolled his eyes. "In the flesh. Or whatever." I looked at Mr. Brunner, completely bewildered. He offered me a small, sad smile. "I'm afraid I've been a bit dishonest with you, Percy." Mr. D waved a lazy hand. "Oh, stop hiding. Let the boy see." And then the strangest thing happened. Mr. Brunner stood up, but he didn't just stand up from his wheelchair. He unfolded. His upper body, his tweed jacket, his arms, his head, rose up. But his lower half kept going. Where his legs should have been, a powerful white stallion's body emerged from the magical wheelchair, which seemed to collapse in on itself and vanish. His human torso seamlessly joined the horse's body at the withers. I was staring at a centaur. My Latin teacher was a horse from the waist down. He stood there, all 15 hands of him, his horsetail swishing back and forth. The wheelchair had just been an illusion, a place to hide his other half. I was speechless. My jaw was probably on the floor. Quran looked down at me, his eyes full of the same ancient wisdom I'd always seen in them, but now it all made a terrible, impossible kind of sense. "Welcome to Camp Half-Blood," he said. "That will conclude the first video. Thank you for watching and turn on notifications to see when the next chapters come out. There are 22 chapters in the first book and many more great Percy Jackson stories to hear.